Well, here I am with Sally, out for a walk in the morning, Wednesday morning, and I'm at Kilmory. Sally's having a good sniff about, and we've just come down this wee path here. That takes you back to Kilmory Hall, and then there's, coming down the path here. If we go down that way, that takes us to Torry Lynn Cairn and the beach. But we're going to go this way. So Sally's just seen which way I go. There we go. She's coming. Because it takes us down into Lagg. I thought I'll just film a very short wee bit here from that junction down to Lagg. And this is a lovely day for a walk, especially after all the heat that we've had. For a start, you can hear the wind in the trees, can't you? And that's really great, you know, apart from the fact there's no midges. It's just really cooling and nice. The air's lovely, partly because we're in this forest, of course, because you can see it's sunny out there, but it's not sunny in here. Sally's got as much speed as she wants. She doesn't always want to go fast because she's an old dog and she likes to sniff about, but the point is the weather suits her fine. You can see she's plodding along no problem. She's quite happy. And she's really strong just now. I've said this before, but it's true. I mean, everything that she was struggling with before, without labouring it, you know, she just isn't struggling with it anymore. She's, in effect, you would just think Sally's just an old dog, and that's all there is to it. And that path also goes back up to Torry Lynn Cairn, but this is a little kind of shortcut that cuts out a kind of triangle there and just takes us down here. And it's really quiet, you know, so peaceful and quiet. You do get some people coming up here with dogs because it's a wonderful area to walk your dog, but it's just nice to have this peace and quiet. Whiting Bay was a very noisy place in the weekend, and I don't remember seeing Whiting Bay like that for many years. In fact, it reminded me of what Whiting Bay was like in the old days, you know, because the whole of the weekend, fun weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was just mobbed, you know, and with cars and people actually. It was just really, really busy, you know, but just like a fair, you know. And in fact, I think somebody said it was Glasgow Fair anyway, but not that I know that. I heard somebody say that. But anyway, it just seemed like I hadn't seen that for many years, you know, like many years, not just because of COVID. And I surprised myself because I thought it was great to see. And I'm not always a big fan of wanting to see a place, you know, really overrun and busy, but you know, for a change it was really nice. And there's good and bad in everything like that, you know. It suits you some ways and doesn't suit you other ways, and that's the same with everything, you know, every change. For example, Whiting Bay used to have 6 pubs. Thinking about it, I'll just have a look over this bank in here and show you. That's just like a vertical drop, by the way. And there's the river that goes to the Lagg Hotel, down through the middle of Lagg. And now it's only got really the Bar Eden, right? So, I'll put my finger over the lens there. And so you think, well, that's a shame, all these pubs are shut, and it is, you know, they're social hubs, right? It is a shame. On the other hand, there's always good and bad from everything. It means that when I'm walking the dog, there aren't drunk people staggering about the place. You don't have the trouble we used to have in Whiting Bay, because we used to have quite a lot of, you know, trouble with drunk people. Let's face it, drunk people are trouble. They always are. They're just people who've poisoned themselves. So we don't have that anymore. You know, it's nice and quiet and peaceful, and it's more sociable. When you come across people, you know what you're going to come across. you're going to come across somebody who's probably sober and very sociable and nice, you know, being themselves basically. So there's good and bad. So, and I miss the pubs, but then sometimes I don't. You know, I'm grateful that they aren't there when I'm walking a dog, and I go out and play the guitar when I'm walking a dog, and I get left alone. And I know I wouldn't be if the village was full of drunk people. So it's good and bad. Much like with COVID, you know, like it's all bad. You know, it's not all bad. I ran around the island in the back of that because the roads were empty. My job got easier, much easier. I worked right through COVID, but there wasn't the same volumes of travel. People weren't travelling. Funnily enough, nobody at my work chucked their job during the year and a half or so of COVID. Not a single person, and yet half of them chucked it as soon as the restrictions lifted. It became much harder. You know, life was harder. So it's good and bad in all these things. But in essence, anyway, I'm saying I'm enjoying this peace and quiet, and also I enjoyed the busyness in the weekends, you know. And I suppose it's maybe a good thing to have a balance of both. But this is amazing. I just am enjoying the sound of the wind in the trees. And also, I mean, Sally, when it was hot, you know, she does struggle a bit because she's still got her fur coat on, you know, imagine. You know, one. I'm maybe getting a cloud trying to land on me there. I'm not so sure about that. So I'll just move around a little bit here. Is it too early? No, it's not too early for clouds, is it? Anyway, I'll just make sure I don't get that. Keep an eye on them. That's not so good. That's lucky for Sally, she doesn't get bothered by things like that, or midges or anything. Anyway, that'll be my first cloud of the year if there was one. Not sure, might not have been. But anyway, so there you go. So that passed lovely and quiet, and I've enjoyed that and just listening to the wind. But I really enjoyed seeing Whiting Bay like the old days. I actually really did. It was great to see, and the Whiting Bay Hall as well, being so busy. It was noisy, you know. So in the end, I just don't know what I like. I want to see people having happy holidays as well, making happy memories, because some of my very happiest memories as a child, probably they are the very happiest ones, is ones from going on holiday, you know. So, you know, you want the more of them the better. So it's a difficult thing. And anyway, in the end of the day, like you learn in running, you've just got to go with the flow, because you're not going to have any significant influence on anything. I don't think that was a clig, because nothing's come back. A bit like Sally, I can't have any influence on her, on how fast she goes. I suppose I could put a leader on her, that's one thing I could do. I might put a lead on her when we come around here. Or I might not, because she's very good. There's the road back up to Kilmory Hall, and up to Kilmory itself. There's the sign for the cairn, if you ever do go there. That's the turn off, Tarlin Cairn. And Village Hall says that with the green sign below it as well. And there are toilets in there as well, which are always handy. And most of these toilets are community, but I think they're all community run now, because the council abandoned the toilets in the island. As far as I know, they don't. As far as I know, they don't do any of them. They gave them all up. They shut them all, or handed them over. So there we go. Oh, we're going this way. I might put you on a lead if you're not going this fast. Okay, so we're just having a wee walk about down to Lagg Hotel, I think, now, and then that'll do. Sorry, having a wee sniff about. Free rhubarb. Please take. Our rhubarb is our turbo drive this year. gosh, 3 rhubarb. Well, I don't want to take all of it. I'll maybe take a couple of bits of rhubarb, that's very generous. I'll put this camera down for a second. That's what I'll do. A couple of bits, that'll do. Don't want to leave none for somebody else. That's very kindly. Puts a couple of bits of rhubarb there. Nice plants as well, aren't they? Look at that, they're lovely. Beautiful. Right, here we go. Sally's been waiting there. And there's a car coming, so we'll just stay on at the side here. Fine and dandy. WP. What's up? Use your time wisely, Sally. Right, we're going to go down this way. Come on. I'll just get Sally over the road, I think, because I don't actually have her on a lead just now, so make sure we keep moving. There we go. Yeah, she's liking this weather. This is perfect for her. It's just kind of warm but not hot, nice and breezy, really good. And she's more lively in the evening than she is in the morning, but she's been eating and drinking plenty this morning. Over this way, Sal, now, up the pavement. Come on. There we go. There we go. What I'll do, I'll walk on the road while she walks on the pavement. We look back up the road there. That's where the old Kilmory post office and shop used to be. And a nice wee cottage in there. And some cottages there. And the river over here. I like these houses with the corrugated iron roof. I know it was a kind of cheap solution in the old days. You'd take the thatch off and put the corrugated iron on the top, and it works well, but I like the fact they're just colourful, and of course they're mostly old. It's not a modern way of doing things. It's cheap and practical, and you don't see those kind of things in cities. You see them in cottages in the countryside, so I quite like that. Grass area there. Swing around to the garden here. And another thing, of course, I like, which I never did see till I came to Arran, was palm trees. I didn't see them anywhere. I don't suppose maybe they were in places like Ayr or other places I've maybe been to as a kid, and I just didn't notice them, unless people didn't really plant them in those days. But I do like to see the palm trees. And then here we are at the Lagg Hotel, which is the end of our journey here. A massive palm tree there. Right, how many? It's got about 10 or 11 stumps, and another one behind it as well. There we go, the Lagg Hotel, and also the Velo Coffee, just where those people are actually, the cyclists, so that makes sense. 1791 it says on the sign above the door. I'll just hold the camera still here for a second. Isn't that great? Sally's waiting, as she always does. And that'll pretty much do us, I think. We'll just come up to the door and we'll stop there. I like these seats as well. Look, they don't have any legs, they're just kind of suspended in mid-air, all these seats on the wall. Massive kind of cast iron legs bolted onto the wall. There we go. Lagg Hotel, it says on the gate there. Velo Coffee. and Sally at the front door. Okay, I think that'll do for today. If you walk about, if you're watching this last thing at night, like I know some people do, sleep well. Cheers.